Before there were battleships, there were ironclads. Wooden ships that were plated in iron armor. Ironclads were designed to counter the explosives and incendiary shells first experienced during the Battle of Sinope. The first ironclads were European and lacked the ability to maneuver as well as their wooden counterparts. Due to the lack of maneuverability, most of the pre-Civil War ironclads were used as floating batteries. The whole military strategy for ironclads changed during the battle for Hampton Roads during the American Civil War, the very first battle between two ironclads. The battle for Hampton Roads took place around Norfolk, Virginia during the 8th and the 9th of March 1862. The battle was part of the South's attempt to break through the North's naval blockade. It was a key battle that had a major impact on the fundamentals of naval warfare. It was the ground zero for the first battle between two ironclads and it ended in a strategic North victory and a tactical South victory. Before we talk about the battle between these two iron behemoths, we need to talk about the backstory between these two ironclads. The South's ironclad was the first ironclad made during the Civil War. Its name was the Virginia. The Virginia was originally a wooden Union warship known as the Merrimac. The wooden hull of the Merrimac was captured by the South after it was unsuccessfully scuttled by the North and abandoned at Norfolk Navy Yard at Portsmouth, Virginia. The South decided to turn the intact wooden hull of the Merrimac into a plated ironclad. The iron plates were made from rolled railroad tracks. To compensate for its low-quality armor, the designers used a little bit of physics and math. They took the 51mm thick iron plating and angled it at 36 degrees. This 36-degree angle increased the relative thickness of its armor to 86.77mm. Not bad for a couple of hillbillies. They also equipped an iron ram to the front of the vessel. Due to the South's bad manufacturing, the South had to buy cannons from other countries and use the captured Union cannons for the Virginia's broadside armaments. A big drawback was that the steam engines of the Virginia were in poor condition, and this made the Virginia slower than the Monitor. The Virginia was first deployed to break through the blockading Union fleet during the Battle of Hampton Roads on March 8, 1862. It pummeled the all-wooden Union fleet, ramming the USS Cumberland and burning the USS Congress. Then through the night, a challenger approached. The North's first ironclad, the Monitor. The Monitor was designed by John Erickson and its revolutionary turret was invented by Theodore Tibley. The Monitor had two distinct features compared to the Virginia. It had a 360-degree rotating turret with two 11-inch cannons, and it was fully casted in iron in comparison to the Virginia, who was only plated in iron. The Monitor had a double-edged sword. It had a low profile, but it was not very seaworthy due to how close its deck was to the waterline. It did, however, have better armor than the Virginia. All of the armor above the sea line was 127 to 229 millimeters thick. The Monitor had no need for the angled armor that the Virginia had. The Monitor was almost finished, but was rushed out because the Virginia was crushing the blockade at the Battle of Hampton Roads, and was outmatching the all-wooden fleet. In the night on March 8th, 1862, the Monitor arrived at Fort Monroe, Virginia, and almost capsized on the way there. The confrontation between these giants ended in a draw, but proved that ironclads were a very durable type of warship, and were useful in holding strategic positions. The Union was very impressed with the performance of the Monitor and its ability to detour the Virginia's attacks and to maintain the Union blockade. This strategic success caused the North to develop this Monitor mania and quickly ordered the fleet of Monitor-class warships. The Monitor ironically sunk in a storm, and rough waves flooded its turret, causing it to sink around Cape Hatteras, Virginia, on December 31st, 1862. The Virginia was destroyed by the South near Craney Island on May 11th, 1862. It was scuttled so that the North wouldn't be able to use the remains of the Virginia. The Monitor's revolutionary 360-degree turret paved the way for the modern-day turrets of today's battleships. The sloped armor of the Virginia is a concept used in battleship design to increase the armor thickness. The clash between the Monitor and the Virginia proved to naval armies around the world that fully armored ships are better than their wooden counterparts because they can take more hits and are good for holding and defending strategic points in a battle. The The sunken monitor was discovered in 1973 by a team of scientists led by John G. Newton. To the team's surprise, the monitor was upside down. An operation to surface the monitor was set in motion, but sadly they were not able to recover the whole ship due to its structural instability. So it was decided that they would salvage the most critical parts of the monitor, which included its rotating turret, which was under the seafloor. Finally, after many years of attempts, they were able to successfully surface the monitor's turret on August 5th, 2002. Inside the turret were 2 dead crew members.